If we all did one thing to help nature, the dramatic effect would be so beneficial to wildlife and to people that it would set us up really brilliantly for the future.
The Wildlife Trust for Lancashire, Manchester and North Merseyside, along with Manchester City Council, are working together on a new project which aims to safeguard existing sites and encourage new wildlife into the city along green corridors.
The project itself is a local initiative based around the Nature Recovery Network, which is being trialled in Manchester to help biodiversity recover and infiltrate the city. And this project is one that looks at existing wildlife nature reserves like this one at Boggart Hole Clough, which is a fabulous area for all sorts of wildlife. But it's also therefore looking at how we can encourage this wildlife out of the nature reserves and into community areas and into our gardens as well. This will benefit both local people because we get to see more wildlife day to day, and it'll benefit the wildlife because it can move around in the city more, whereas normally a city with lots of roads, concretes and buildings can be quite tough to get around in.
The Nature Network project will focus on a strip of 4 sites of biological importance where nature thrives.
The North Manchester Nature Network, it covers an area between Bailey's Wood, which is in Charlestown, down to Moston Brook, which is in Moston, and just on the edge of Oldham. The goal of this is to look at how people can benefit from having wildlife in their city. And if we get that in the end of 12 months, that's then a case study that could be copied and put into different parts of Manchester. It can then be put into different cities, Liverpool, Leeds, Chester, to help link up these nature reserves. And that means that we're not just working short term by saying, let's protect that little bubble of green. This is long term. This is saying, look, in the future, with climate change and changes in the environment, wildlife is going to need to move around.
Tackling poor mental health is also a big part of the project. According to the Wildlife Trust, having regular access to nature dramatically increases positive well-being and good mental health.
So nature is obviously a really important thing to have for our health, both for our mental health and our physical health. And this has been known for a very long time, especially for physical health. Increasingly, we now know for mental health, wildlife and nature is a huge free tool that we can all benefit from. And I think if we didn't already know that, the last year in the pandemic has really demonstrated to a lot of people just how good wildlife is at letting us rest, letting us cope with stresses, and actually cope with things like isolation and loneliness as well.